So the last slot we're going to be doing, the last slots we're going to be doing are weapons and jewelry. Jewelry are problem fixer slots. So we kind of want to look at things like boots, gloves, and helmets first. Helmets are a great place just to get a lot of defenses. Boots are probably going to be the thing that we're going to go for next because they can be a little trickier. You definitely want something with move speed, and you're going to have to, at this point, when you're working on a tight budget, you're going to have to settle for 20% move speed typically. So that's what we're going to be looking for. We don't really want to go under 20% move speed though. The best thing to do with your boots really though is to get 20, maybe even 30% move speed with not very good stats, and then build up the stats elsewhere. So try and get life and move speed on your boots with like a good move speed roll, and then build up the resistances elsewhere. That's what you want to try and do in terms of currency efficiency. Because to try and get 30% move speed boots with good life and resist, and if you leave your boost to last, you might end up having to do that. Then you're gonna have a really bad time. So you want to get your boots first, I think, before you start trying to fix the problems that the boots will cause. So that's what we're going to be going to next. We're going to be going for boots. So we'll just refresh this by clicking, I usually just click up here. We'll type in boots. Now we want to, again, look at our gem slots, so just to figure out what sort of colors we might need. And it's possible, typically most setups will want one armor piece, just for simplicity, or at least an armor ES piece maybe. And the reason for that is for your cast when damage taken setup. So I'm using cast when damage taken Immortal Call with a golem, which is somewhere around here. There he is, Chaos Golem. So this could be an armor ES piece. So that's what we're probably going to go for. I'm going to put armor in, and if we get armor or armor ES, either of those are fine. So we can do those on our boots, but actually, come to think of it, it might be better to do that on a helmet or gloves, because restricting you don't want to restrict the boots at all. So I think we'll solve that problem later, actually, come to think about it. So taking a step back there for a second. It's a good idea to think of what you need, but most of my stuff is blue. We have a couple greens. Getting an evasion pair of boots would be good too. We're pretty free on options, and I think that's a good reason to go boots first as well. So we're not actually going to put anything in here at all. We're going to go online only. We're going to look for life, and we're going to look for a mid-tier life roll, honestly, on this one to try and keep it cheap. And I'm gonna be a little optimistic here. And we're gonna go for 25 plus move speed. We're gonna be a little optimistic, and we'll see what we can get here. So why boots next? Just to reiterate, the reason why we're going boots after the chest armor you want to get sorted first, because whatever stats you happen to get on that with your augment and transmute, you want to be able to build around that from there on out, and then later if you have any issues you can mastercraft the remaining resistance on it. So usually I would wait to mastercraft that cold res, right? I wouldn't have crafted that now, but I got the lightning res, so we didn't have any choice anyway. If I didn't get the lightning res and say we got evasion instead, I would have waited to mastercraft that until after I got my other items, because you might get to the point where like I really need another 20 cold res at the end, and you're like, okay, I go cold, but maybe you needed lightning instead, so you put lightning on there. So that gives you better flexibility in your gearing. That's the important thing. Now boots are kind of similar, because boots you want to get move speed, but to get move speed life res boots are really expensive. So we're going to go that first, and then we're also going to leave like worrying about the colors to later, so we maximize our possible options for boots. We want to get the biggest range of boots possible. So I'm going to search by buyout here. Now normally I would recommend searching for items that didn't have buyouts and trying to find decent pairs of boots and things that don't have buyouts, and trying to offer like 1 or 2 C on them. And that can be a good strategy, but we're just going to go with buyouts for this strategy like people were requesting. So we've got a bunch of ones here for under 1C. Something like this is actually a pretty good starting point. We could definitely use something like that. I don't really like the armor evasion base that much, but we could use it. So it could work for us. We're going to have a little bit more of a look though. We might be actually, it looks like there's some pretty good options available here. So what I'm actually going to do is restrict our search a little bit more. So what we're going to do is going to go resistances. We're going to try and get something with some resistance here. We'll go pseudo, total, elemental resist. Pseudo is the important part here. And we're going to search for something with, let's be optimistic and search for 40% total resist. And hopefully we can get something for, maybe we can get something for an alch here. We might be pushing an alch here. Fusing's about an alch, so that's good. Something like this could work really well for us. Decent life roll, very good cold res, good movement speed. We have only a bit of cold resistance at the moment. You try and, while you're building up your initial items, try and get the maximum resistance possible that are kind of like spread out a little bit. It makes it a bit easier to gear with your subsequent items. So what else have we got here? This one here with the dual res is kind of nice. Spreads out the fire, which we're pretty good for fire. We actually need more lining if we can get that. We're trying to just find the best value ones that we can get here, though. Okay. Now we could offer a lesser amount on some of these as well, because a lot of these boots are going to sit here not selling for quite some time. So people will often be willing to take a slightly less offer. What am I thinking here? I do quite like this cold resistance. This 44 cold res one. We have 44 total resistance here, 46. 61 total resist on this one, though. This Mastercrafted 1 Chaos one is kind of nice. We could maybe, like, offer an Alk for that, maybe. An Alk being 1/2 of a Chaos, typically. Chaos resists are always worth including. Chaos res on your, like, budget initial gear set is, like, a bonus. I would not prioritize it early on. Its Chaos damage is not too much of a threat in low-level maps, so... We don't need to, we don't need to worry about that too much just yet. Do you guys in chat think it would be fair for me to be offering, offering a lesser amount than the listed price on these items as far as this goes? Like, would that be a good thing to do in this, or should I stick to the listed buyouts for items? Alks are running a bit less than 0.5C. Oh, okay, it's actually getting closer to 3-to-1. Interesting. Pay listed price, please. Alright, most people are actually saying no, that we'll pay listed price. I know I mean, that's typically how you do it. I guess I'll do the worst case scenario, right, where you're literally just sticking to buyouts. That's what I'll do. I'll stick to buyouts, but that's like a worst case scenario. You guys can totally, like, make offers instead of actually doing that. So, alright, so with that being the case, with this set of gear here, now what you could do is, life is important, but getting your resist max is actually a little more important. What you could do to expand your options here is actually go for lesser life rolls. There's going to be some really cheap gear in the 40 life category, and then actually increase your resist a little bit. So we'll just have a little quick look at this just to see if we have some better options. And see what's available here. It looks like with that amount of resist, we're moving into the 1C category. So I think we want to go for the higher life rolls. Let's try here again, 40. Let's try just down at 45. See if that cuts us into a new tier a little bit at all. I think haggling is a good lesson, but maybe that's a lesson for another day. All right. Ooh, I'm liking the looks of this. Now, something that I haven't talked about yet when you're buying these pieces of gear, your boots, gloves, and helmet, is pay attention to whether they're linked or not, to whether they actually have 4 sockets and are 4 linked, because you tend to not think about that aspect of the currency that you're spending, but that adds like an extra chaos or 3 sometimes to items, or sometimes you try and 4 link some gloves and you end up spending 21 fuse doing it, sometimes, so it's a really good idea to prioritize. If there are 4 linked ones, go for those, even if the stats are like, if the stats are about the same, or if they're a little bit worse even. That can actually be not a bad idea. I don't see any 4 linked ones, but this one here does have 4 sockets. Oh, this one's corrupted. We can't link that one. Yeah, watch out for corrupted. almost tried to buy a corrupted item. Alright, I'm going to go back down to the 40 resist total then. Again, the other thing we could do is take a slight loss in move speed. Getting 20% move speed boots is a bit rough, but I'm noticing a bit of restriction in like the quality of boots that we have access to. So we'll lower that move speed a bit and see what we have access to here. That's actually a pretty good pair of boots for 2 chance orbs. Do we have any linked ones? Not seeing any linked ones, really. Alright, what do we got? Oh, this one's really nice. I like this one a lot. This one, the life roll looks really low, and that's why I'm kind of glad I lowered the life roll a bit, because it actually still ends up being 41 thanks to the strength. Chaos res, nice bonus. Not socketed or anything, but 30% move speed, 42 cold. I might actually end up getting that, I think. Yeah, corrupted is bad because you can't actually craft it. You can't socket it or anything like that. At least not cheaply. Oh, the other thing we should be considering is mastercrafting, actually, because we can very cheaply add mastercraft to things. So movement speed is a prefix, and if you ever want to check this, I can't believe we haven't been talking about mastercrafting yet, so we're going to do that. If you go to poeaffix.net, you can go boots, and it doesn't matter which base. Movespeed is a prefix, life is a prefix, and resists are suffixes. Now, with that in mind, I actually just spied some really nice looking boots here. These ones just here for 1 fuse, 20 move speed. Yeah, pretty mediocre lightning res, pretty good cold those, and really good life. I think these might be the ones we get. See, something like this, we'd be better off if we could mastercraft that. Let's just check again if there's anything that's good to mastercraft. That one's okay, we could do something like that. I think we're probably going to go for... That life regen's a suffix, by the way. But you could still mastercraft on that. I think we're going to go these boots here. These are the ones. So this is 20% move speed. Not as fast as we could get, but we're going to get really nice resists here. So I think I'm satisfied with this one. The character's not logged in. Bum-bow. Bum-bow. Alright, what else can we do then? Alright, a bit of a tough decision here. I think I actually like this one more. So we're going to go the 30% move speed. I think this one's better. Alright. This one looks nice because that 42, but this is the total res on here is really good, so and we can mastercraft it. No! Well, that's what you have to deal with though. And as always, when it comes to trading, if you do this over a period of time, so like try doing a bit of trading in the morning. If you're not getting any good deals, then try again in the afternoon or the next morning. You'll get different people and you'll get different deals. You're always going to get a better bargain if you're a bit more patient with your trading. Let me do a refresh. Hopefully this will update a bit. Let's do if you refresh, it should hopefully update. I think we might have to go for this pair then. Even though we can't mastercraft them, they're still okay-ish. So I think at this point, with this what I've had here, like the good ones that I really wanted not being there. Alright, we might be okay this time. I think with the good ones being like that, I don't actually have 2 fuse. We'll see if he'll... I can give him this 1 fuse and I'll put like an alk over here and we'll take a chaos out. I would actually wait a while and then try and buy boots in like another hour or 2. Okay, let's go to this guy and trade this one. But we're gonna build all this set in the one go now, even if it's not gonna be fully optimal. Alright, there we go. Thank you, sir. Alright, so we have a pair of boots with some okay-ish resistances, okay life, and okay move speed. That's not bad for what we paid for it. 1 fuse, that's reasonable. We could have gotten some better ones, but that's, you know, that's a starting point. Now, for resistances, and this is something you want to start to take note of at this point, we're already getting pretty close on our cold resistance, and the total that you're looking for your budget's like starting set of gear is 135%. That is to get to max resistances in Merciless when you're in your hideout. So when it says 135% in the brackets here, that's when you will be capped resist. Now ideally you want to get about 20 over that so that you have some leeway for being cursed with something like Frostbite, which will reduce your cold resistance, for example. So 155-ish, we're going to be good, but we're aiming for the minimum 135. Did we get 2 items with 7 lightning res on them? We did. Lucky 7s, man. Maybe we'll get another one. We do need to start paying attention to more lightning res though, as you can see just here.